I haven't put on any makeup. I am here in my raw state because this video is as real as shit. This is why we call this Keeping It Real with Camille. I'm gonna get straight to my point. It's 3 a.m. or probably going on 4 a.m. and raise your hand if you're human. Raise your hand if it's normal for you to have one of those nights where you don't sleep or you can't sleep because of what's currently going on. I was just in the middle of editing videos on my computer behind me for this YouTube channel. Every YouTuber or every person who wants to do YouTube always first thinks to themselves, what is my niche, or what is it that I want to do for YouTube to create content? A lot of influencers or gurus come on here to show you content pretty much of vanity, of themselves being vain. Some people come on here showing you content on how they take care of themselves. There's so many different things. Currently, with what's going on in the world and in the United States of America and in New York, I was unable to find what I was looking for on YouTube or on Google. I am looking for the people who are actually using their voice to influence people in one of the biggest decisions that everyone has to make right now. You have influencers influencing people on what skin product they should be using for their acne. That's helping people. You have people influencing people on what products they should be using for their curly hair. Has anyone besides people in the healthcare field that are influencing others to take the COVID-19 vaccine and saying that it is safe and effective for everyone with all types of medical conditions? I am looking for the most relatable influencer to try to influence me not to take it or take it. You know what I mean? Where are those influencers? I Googled, are there any celebrities? Are there any people who we consider to be the elite or people with a platform that, you know, are against it? Or is everyone with that platform afraid to say that they are against it? Now, there are some celebrities. I have a really bad social anxiety. So back to what I was saying, I have Googled and found that only people like Nicki Minaj, she has voiced her opinion a while back on not trusting it. One of the black actors from the Black Panther movie, the English girl, I can't remember her name right now. She had posted something in the media about not trusting the vaccine, and she received a lot of backlash for that. Where are the influencers that are not afraid to voice how they feel about taking the vaccine or not taking the vaccine, how it affected them and their families if they took it and if they haven't? How are they being treated in their states, in their communities, in their workplaces? Where are the protests? I have so many questions. Right now, I'm gonna take that first step. I haven't found any yet. If you guys have seen a video of someone who's not scared to talk about it, please link their video in your comments below this video so I could go check that video out, because I haven't found one. People are always making, you know, videos for the little black girl that could relate, or, you know, the little disabled person that could relate. Where are the videos for people who are currently wanting to relate to this topic? A lot of people are having suicidal thoughts. A lot of people are committing suicide. A lot of people cannot mentally handle what is going on in this pandemic right now. And then, the amount of suicides, first of all, it already took place when the outbreak started because people either didn't want to catch COVID or couldn't take being away from society for so long. We already had those suicide numbers go up, and then now to being pushed to, if you don't take the vaccine, then you're basically laid off or fired or jobless, and with no pay. You cannot receive any government unemployment benefits, and so in turn you don't have money to buy food to survive. So in turn, people are suicidal. How can you mentally grasp that? So many people are running to go get injected with this substance that they have no idea what's inside it, just so that they don't lose their jobs, so that they could continue getting food and taking care of their families. This is nuts. This is insane. I'm a young lady. I don't have any children. So I guess it's a little bit easier for me to make my decision than someone's parent, because if you are a parent, you are first thinking about your kids, and you would die, for your kids. So you would, just out of fear, run and go do that, because you got to do what you got to do for your kids. And those sacrifices are completely understandable. Like I said, I could empathize. I cannot sympathize, but I could empathize. And the stance that I'm at right now is, not only am I not doing it currently, but I just feel like spiritually I can't bring myself to do it. This is a life and death situation. And man, you guys, regardless to the fact that I'm not well off, I am a low income. I live with my low income family members. I wish I had a fortune to my name. You could basically say I have close to nothing, which makes it even worse to even be trying to survive at this moment. The only advice that doctors are going to give right now is take it, because they don't want to lose their job. Religious leaders are kind of like 50-50. Like, some people are saying, take it so that you could protect everyone else, because God said you're supposed to, love your neighbors, and taking the vaccine to protect everyone else is, being a good citizen and being good to your neighbors. Which, that to me is some trash. I do have some Christian beliefs. I have read the Holy Bible many times throughout my lifetime. I have not read the entire thing. I have read parts of it. A lot of parts of it. It's so difficult to decide what to live by in a world full of good and evil, made up of good and evil, created with both positive and negative energies. Everyone's beliefs are all different and all entangled in personal beliefs, feelings, what you were brought up with, what your parents grew you up believing, to what you see for yourself, what you don't see for yourself, what you spiritually experience versus what other people spiritually experience, and you deciding whether or not to believe them. I may get backlash from people who are like, oh, you're stupid. vaccines are supposed to help people and be safe. What's the difference from all the other vaccinations people were given in the past for chicken pox and the measles and smallpox and polio and tetanus and whatever the hell other immunizations we've all already taken? Yes, you have a point. But at what point do we finally say, it's okay to take vaccines, but there's just something about what's happening right now that's a little bit fishy. No one is saying that they're against getting vaccinated in their whole entire lifetime. You know what? I'm not even going to go into that so deep, but there is just something so distrusting about a virus randomly being created that killed out hundreds of thousands of people in 2020 alone throughout the world. And in 6 months to a year, vaccines, which are normally take a couple of years to formulate and test, are all of a sudden already created and being handed out worldwide to people for free. And then you're passing a mandate to force people to take it whether they like it or not, and threatening their jobs and their means of survival. So saying, if you don't take it, then we're gonna leave you for dead. That doesn't sound like people who actually care about people. Now, yes, I have done my research and I see that it has happened before. Was it in 1905? When it was passed in the United States, there was a vaccine mandate. I believe it was for the smallpox, if I'm not mistaken. And then, case went to the Supreme Court. Is it, does it violate people's First Amendment right? The First Amendment to the Constitution? And it got, all technical and stuff. And then finally the mandate definitely was passed. And whoever didn't adhere to the mandate was fined X amount of money. Okay. We as children, we have been immunized with many different injections. Of course, not with our consent, with parental consent, of course, because we all were just children. But when you do become older and you are allowed to consent to whatever religion or belief you believe in, and your religious word or your religious text or whatever it is and you use to follow your religion is telling you that there are certain things that are not supposed to be done, or else it is considered a sin, or there are certain things that you should not do because you are pretty much being disloyal to your God, is when we draw that line and say, okay, I know this is what the government is telling me to do, but God doesn't want me to do this. And this is the reason why God doesn't want me to do this. And they're like basically trying to tell you that you have to prove why God doesn't want you to do this. Now, let me tell you something. God is going to prove it all right. God really is just waiting on the exact time that it is scheduled to happen. And although there are a lot of people who don't know better or believe otherwise or wish they knew better or want to know better, what's going to happen is going to happen. Now, at this point, I don't believe anyone who doesn't want to take the vaccine because they're afraid that they'll die. Because any person who I think is spiritual, no, not that. Any person who believes in a spirituality where there is an afterlife, any person whose religious beliefs is in a spirituality where you die and go to a better place, you're not going to be afraid to die. You are going to believe that death is a beautiful achievement in life because it is a transition to the next life. I'm not saying that every religious person believes that, but I'm saying that if your religious beliefs are in a spirituality that believes that, if you understood how I just broke it down there, you will not be afraid of death when you are dying, nor when your life is challenged. You will not be afraid of death. And you will not view death as a negative thing. You would not. And so to people who say when they die they're going to heaven, but they're afraid to die and they're basically afraid to take that step to go there. Are you really afraid of the vaccine and what it's going to do to you? No. No, you're not. You're not. So you'll go take it. And if the next day you die, you're going to be okay because you know that you are now with your Creator and you are going to heaven. That's one theory. The other one is you're not deciding not to take the vaccine because you're afraid to die, but you are deciding not to take it because you believe that it is the mark of the beast or the start to the idea of the mark of the beast. And so you're deciding that you're not going to take it because it is a sin to take it, because it is being disloyal to your God. So whether you catch COVID and die or not, you're like, when I die, I die. But I'm not afraid of taking the vaccine because I think it's gonna affect me or make me die. I'm more afraid of taking the vaccine because I fear God and I refuse to be disloyal to God. Because if I willingly and knowingly do something that I know that God said not to do, it is a tremendous sin for which I will be convicted of and have to accept the consequences of, meaning it may hinder me going or being accepted into the paradise or the afterlife where I want to be accepted into. I'm not afraid to go there. However they take me out, they take me out. And when that day comes, I'm ready. It's not death I'm afraid of. It's being disloyal to God. Now one may say, oh, but the Bible also says not to lie, or not to steal, or not to pierce your body, or not to, and the church may teach you that there is moral sin and immoral sin and heinous, sin. I forgot the different types of sins that there are. But anyway, sin is sin. Yes, there are some sins that you commit that may weigh more than others. But I think if you know your spiritual connection with God and you know your relationship with God, you pretty much would know what to do from here on out. Non-believers in your God are going to give backlash and say that this talk is trash because those are non-believers in the word of your God. Is your God their God? It's a tough decision. The only thing that is guaranteed at the end of this all is death. Life is not guaranteed tomorrow. Whether you take the vaccine or not, whether you catch COVID or not, you can go around the corner tomorrow. God forbid, a tragedy happens or accident or what have you. And it doesn't matter whether you were vaccinated or not. It doesn't matter whether you had COVID or not. At the end of all of this, death is still guaranteed. So people running to go take it, saying it's going to help me build more immunity to COVID, to stop the spread of the virus so that we don't die. Why are you afraid to die? Or is it that you just don't want to get sick? You just don't like being sick, right? Or the people running to go take it because they don't want to catch COVID and die, but even if you take it, you might still catch COVID anyways and die because death is guaranteed in life anyway. What is really your reason? Were you stressed out and just took it because you were like, oh, fuck it, I gotta go to work. They're doing too much. Give me the shit so I could go to work because they're doing too much. Whatever happens to me, happens to me. You see, I could do that if it wasn't going to hinder my relationship with God. This is not just one of the other vaccines of the past.
This is a virus that was intentionally created during this current point in time
to kill people. And now you want to act like you care to save their lives. So I'm forcing you to take it. So I'm forcing you to allow me to save your life after I just tried to kill you. And you guys trust that. I don't need your help saving my life. The only thing that I need help with and help from is God. So I'll have to pass on this one. Y'all need to get real. Y'all need to get real. None of this shit around us matters. None of it. I believe in an afterlife. I believe in the paradise. I believe in the eternal life. And I believe the only way to get there is to do right by God all the way till the end. This one right here is a very big one. It's not stealing a candy bar from the corner store, kids that like to do that. It's not telling a white lie to save your ass. This one's a big one. It's a big one. You have your take. I have mine. But I was just looking for the people out there that are not afraid to come public and say it. Because right now, everyone is acting like they're afraid to say it. Like somebody gonna come for them, personally, physically, if they just say it. Being vain is not my destiny, and I'm not famous. I probably never will be, but that's not my destination either. My destination is eternal life, and I will do anything and anything I can to get there, and nothing or anyone is gonna stop me or pull me astray from God. And that's that. So comment down below if you found another video like this where somebody is genuinely telling you why they've decided to take it or why they've genuinely decided not to take it, and how it's affecting them, and how are they going to continue to live the rest of their life or their time here on earth with or without it, being that there are now restrictions on what we can and can't do and what have you. So on this channel, look for in the next videos to come, a day in the life, unvaccinated, in New York City or in this world, and how I lived, survived, or didn't survive it. I am documenting from tonight. What's today's date? January 30th. Today is Sunday, January 30th, 2022, and it is 4:18 a.m. The video will be loaded later. But yeah, people are killing themselves. Rest in peace to the young lady back home that committed suicide. I surely do hope that God is able to hold and keep her. I surely do hope. I refuse to be pushed to that limit. You know, I've had my dark past already. I refuse to be pushed to that limit. But I also refuse to defy God for any job or any piece of money in order to have money to buy things to be vain. God will make a way. God will provide. He is my provider. The job is not my provider. The government is not my provider. God has always been my provider. And so long as I strongly believe in that and hold on to that, I will get food to eat in abundance and water to drink in abundance to keep me alive for as long as God wants me alive. He will provide. My whole entire life right now, He has provided and laid out everything for me. Everything I have, God has given me. And I don't doubt for a second that God will continue to provide. I love you guys for watching and listening. Comment below. I'll read and respond. Or not, if people choose to be malicious. I'm signing out until the next video. Blessings.